Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you guys? Are you fine and healthy? Okay. I hope you guys always healthy in your life. Okay. Before I start my explanation, let me introduce myself first. My name is Aulia Novanidana. I'm from English Department 2020 class A. Okay. Now I want to explain about elements of poetry. Okay, this is a part of assignment about poetry courses assignment. Uh, okay, the first is introduction. Poetry is a masterpiece ever created by mankind. In its development, poetry itself has become part of mankind, which is basically that poetry is the fruit of expressing human thoughts and feelings that are poured into words, and when these words are conveyed, will give birth to an attraction that fascinates others with sound, rhythm, rhyme, and sound, array, and stanza arrangement. Poetry has been created by humans from time to time. It is even recorded in history that poetry has been rhymed since ancient times. This work has given birth to a lot of talented poets, whose creations are able to produce a lot of inspirations, views, and various meanings, which of course everyone is different about this. Okay, this is an example of poetry. One of the famous poets born in the early modern era is W. H. Auden. During his lifetime, there were many works of poetry that he had created, one of which was the more loving one. Basically, the poem conveys meaning that in this world everything has its own beauty. Everything depends on the ability of the human self to gain, especially on how they love nature, food, art, and poetry itself. You guys can see the poetry in corner right on the screen. This is poetry that has the created. Uh, isn't it beautiful? As if the poem is like philosophy about beauty that Auden wants to convey in his own way. So, how does Auden find, create and convey the results of his thought into meaningful words? Okay, let's let's go to the core of our material, namely the elements of poetry. Okay, this is the content that I want to explain to you guys. The first is structure, the second is sound, and the last but not least is meaning. This is a submaterial that I want to explain in the next explanation, in the next slide. Okay, the first is structure. An important method of analyzing a poem is to look at the stanza structure or style of a poem. Generally speaking, structure has to do with the overall organization of lines and/or the conventional patterns of sound. Uh, the first is stanza. Stanzas are a series of lines grouped together and separated by an empty line from other stanza. They are equivalent of a paragraph in an essay. Uh, the next is form. A poem may or may not have a specific number of lines, rhyme, scheme, and or metrical pattern, but it can still be labeled according to its form or style. Okay, this is how do we identify the stanzas are. There are one, two, three, four, five, six. Actually, there are seven, but I forgot to put the last one in the slide. Okay, the first is couplet. Couplet means two lines, and tercet. Tercet means three lines. Quatrains mean four lines. Cinquain mean five lines. Sextet mean six lines. Septet means seven lines. And the last one is octave. It means eight, eight, eight lines. We can take the example from this poem, the more loving one. Uh, as you can see, there are four stanzas in this poem. The first is in the looking up at the stars. The second is how should we like it where stars to burn. The third is admire as I think I am. And the last is where all stars to disappear or die. Okay, the next is form. Um, there are three most common types of poems according to form. The first is lyric poetry. It is an it is any poem with one speaker, not necessarily the poet, who expresses strong thoughts and feelings. Most poems, especially modern ones, are lyric poems. Uh, the second is narrative. It is a poem tells a story. Its structure resembles the plot line of a story, like like the introduction of conflict and characters, rising action, climax, and denouncement. Okay, the third is descriptive or the descriptive poem. It is a poem that describes the world that surrounds the speaker. It used to elaborate imagery and adjectives. While emotional, it's more outward focused than lyric poetry, which is more personal and introspective. Okay, the second of the content is sound. So in this content, I divided into two. The first is rhyme and the second is rhythm. Okay, what is rhyme? Rhyme is the repetition of similar sounds. In poetry, the most common kind of rhyme is, is the end rhyme, which occurs at the end of two or more lines. It is usually identified with lowercase letters, and a new letter is used to identify each new end sound. Okay, okay, the second is rhythm. What is rhythm? Rhythm can be described as the beat and pace of a poem. The rhythmic beat is created by the pattern of stressed and unstressed syllables in a line of verse. In modern poetry, line breaks, repetition, and even spaces for silence can help to create rhythm. Okay, this is the example of rhyme. You can you can take the example from the poem, uh, the more loving one. This is the first stanza that I take from the poem. We can look from the first stanza is looking up at the stars. I know quite well. Is A that for all they care, I can go to hell. Is A too, but on earth indifference is the least. Is B, and the last is we have to dread from man or beast. It's B. Okay, it's mean the forms of the more loving one is use rhyme a or r or aabd. So the first stanza is aabd, the second stanza is aabd, and the more from the form is using aabd rhyme. How about the rhythm and matter? Rhythm and matter is I divided into two explanation. The first is poetic foot, and the second is the number of feet. Okay, poetic foot. Poetic foot is the pattern or foot is designed according to the number of syllables contained and the relationships in each foot between the strong and weak syllables. This is an example for the strong and weak. The strong is called a stress. The symbol is I or one or I think. And the and for the weak, uh, usually called as an unstressed, or the symbol is O or zero. Okay, the next is matters. Matter describes the rhythm or pattern of beats in a line of poetry. Matter is a combination of the number of beats and the arrangement of stress and and non and non-stress syllables in each line. Iambic pentameter is a primary example of matter. So I put five the example from the methods. There are iambic, trochaic, anapestic, dactylic, and spondylic. Yeah, iambic is weak syllable followed by strong syllable. Trochaic is strong syllable followed by a weak syllable. Anapestic is two weak syllables followed by a strong syllables, and the dactylic is a strong syllable followed by two weak syllables. And the last is spondylic is two strong syllables, but not common as lines, but appears as a foot. A spondylic usually appears at the end of line. Okay, next is the number of feet. The number of feet is divided into six feet. The first is 1 foot, or or usually called monometer. 2 feet is dimeter. 3 feet is trimeter. 4 feet is tetrameter. 5 feet is pentameter. 6 feet is hexameter. When hexameter is in iambic rhythm, it is called an alexandrine. Okay, this is the last content on this explanation. This is the last is meaning. Okay, in general, Poetry deals with particular things in concrete language, since our emotions most readily respond to these things. From the poem's particular situations, the reader may then generalize. The generalities arise by implication from the particular. Words' meanings are not only restricted to dictionary meanings. The full meaning of a word includes both the dictionary definition and the special meanings and associations a word has in a given phrase or expression. Okay, this is the example of meaning from this material. The first is simile, the second is metaphor, the, the next is synecdoche, metonymy, symbol, allegory, personification, and irony. Okay, what is simile? Simile is the rhetorical term used to design the most elementary form of resemblance. For metaphor, sorry. A metaphor leaves out like or as and, and implies a direct comparison between objects or situations. Synecdoche is a form of metaphor, which in mentioning an important and attached part signifies the whole. Metonymy is similar to synecdoche. It's a form of metaphor allowing an object closely associated but unattached with object or situation to stand for the thing itself. Symbol. A symbol is like a simile or metaphor with the first term left out. Uh, my love is like a red rose. Is a simile if through persistent identification of the rose with the beloved woman. We may come to associate the rose with her and her particular virtues. At this point, the rose would become a symbol. Okay, next is allegory. Allegory can be defined as a one-to-one correspondence between a series of abstract ideas and a series of images or pictures present in the form of a story or a narrative. Personification. Personification occurs when you treat abstractions or inanimate objects as a human. That is, giving the human attributes, power, and feelings. Uh, let's say example is nature where or the wind whispered many truth to me. Okay, the last is irony. Irony takes many forms. Most basically, irony is a figure of speech in which actual intent is expressed through words that carry the opposite meaning. Okay, actually, there are so many figurative devices or different figurative languages, but on this time, uh, I just put 8 figurative as an example. Okay, next is okay. This is identification of the poetry, the more loving one from stanza one. We can look the stanza one, looking up at the stars. I know quite well that for all they care, I can go to hell. But on earth, indifference is the least we have to dread. Roman, or beast. Okay, in the first stanza, Auden established this extended metaphor of stars as lovers in the first two lines. The speaker is informing his reader from the very beginning that he knows just by looking at his lover that the emotions he feels for him or her are not returned. Additionally, the unrequited lover is so indifferent that he or she does not care about the fate of the speaker. In the end of stanza, which is in lines 3 and 4, Auden perhaps insinuating that he would rather his lover feel indifference toward his opposed to the contrary, which could be hatred or love that goes unrequited by him. Okay. For the stanza 2, how should we like it were stars to burn with a passion or for us we could not return, if equal affection cannot be, let the more loving one be. Okay, in this in this second, Auden starts with his question to the reader. He seems to be asking to his reader which would better, to be loved and not loved in return, or to be the one who is on the other end, who does not reciprocate the love once sweeter. According to the speaker and Auden, it is better to be the one who loves as opposed to the one who does not. Okay, for the stanza 3. Admire as I think, I am of stars that do not give a damn. I cannot, now I see them, say I miss one terribly all day. In the third stanza, the tone shifts slightly, and the speaker recognizes that love is fleeting and impermanent. Where are four lines of the stanza complete one thou? Okay, this is for the last stanza, stanza 4. Where are stars to disappear or die? I should learn to look at an empty sky and feel its total dark sublime, though this might take me a little time. Okay, in the fourth stanza, finally, the speaker admits that if his lover, again represented as stars, were to go, were to go away or die, he would learn to not only get over that person, but also to feel their absence as sublime. He recognizes, however, that this would not happen overnight. Instead, it will take some time to get over the receiver of his love. Okay, I think that's all from my presentation. Thank you so much for listening or and watching my explanation. I know I made so many mistakes in this explanation, but I hope you guys can learn and take the positive impact from this experience from my explanation. Okay, guys, thank you so much again. I hope you guys have a nice day, and see you again next time.